What's up, everybody? We are tuned up and ready to go. I'm talking my picks, all right? And I'm not going to do it my whole bracket. I'm not going to bore you to death. I'm going to take the top 8 seeds and tell you how far they're going to go in this video. My bracket is on ESPN's website. It's Dependent Fanatic. It's a group. You can go join it. You can see my entire bracket where it is. And I suggest you go do that before you watch this video. Pause, go do that, and then what I'm going to tell you might make a little bit more sense. But we're going to start with the 8 seeds and work our way up to the 1 seeds and how far I think each one is going to go. I do the resume ranking. I did that earlier today, posted it, so you can go check that out as well. But there are some surprise teams here. I watched the Voice of College Football, TJ, and they were talking about it a little bit. I watched Steve Dace's Watch This Before You Fill Out Your Bracket. I didn't. I filled out my bracket, and then I watched that. But it concerns me. My national championship pick concerns me because they said fade this team. All the trends and stuff that Steve Dace does, if you're familiar. So go check all those people out. It was great. It was a great day, man, after a day of hanging drywall, which if you have never done, I've done it most of my life. But lately, we've been just finishing, and I've gotten accustomed to that. So it was a good day. I got into the drinks, but hey, now is the time to do this video. All right, so the 8 seeds. Louisville is an 8 seed. They are underseeded. But the matchup is versus Creighton, which is terrible for them. Creighton is a good team out of the Big East. I think they lose. Louisville loses to Creighton in the round of 64. Mississippi State is an 8 seed. I think Mississippi State beats Baylor in the round of 64. But they lose to Duke in the round of 32, of course. Connecticut, the 2-time defending national champions in a row, will beat Oklahoma. But I think they lose to Florida in the round of 32. That's not so crazy, right? Gonzaga is an 8 seed. They will beat Georgia, I believe. But they will lose to Houston in the round of 32, a 1 seed. So let's move to the 7 seeds. And you know what? I'm just going to tell you, the SEC got a record 14 teams in. I don't think any one of them make it to the Final Four. Just a preview here for this. All right. Marquette will beat New Mexico. They are a 7 seed. But Michigan State in the round of 32 is a team that is hungry and will beat Marquette, I believe. I like Michigan State and Tom Izzo this year. Might be his... Is it Tom Izzo's final year if he wins the whole thing? I think yes. Is it Tom Izzo's final year if he loses and brings everybody back? I think no. I think he's coming back. So it'll be interesting to see Michigan State. All right. But that was Marquette, the 7 seed. St. Mary's Christian. I think they will beat somebody, and then they will lose to Alabama in the round of 32. I forgot to write down who they are, who they beat in the first round. But anyway, Kansas, a 7 seed, will beat Arkansas, but loses to St. John's in the round of 32. And more on St. John's in a moment. I like them. UCLA, the last 7 seed I'm going to talk about here, they will beat Utah State with high power offense. But then they will run into Tennessee that also has high power offense and loses in the round of 32. So, Big Ten teams are dwindling, at least one. The 6 seeds now. Missouri has to play Drake. I like Drake. I really like Drake. They are 30-3. I like their record. I like that they try hard. I like that they shoot really well. I like that they can fundamentally be a sound team, not turn it over, get steals, play great defense. They were a 5 seed in the college basketball resume ranking. If you have not checked that out, go ahead. Missouri is going to lose in round 1 of this tournament, the round of 64, to Drake. Illinois is going to beat Texas or Xavier, depending on who they play, but they will lose to Kentucky in the round of 32. BYU, another 6 seed, will lose to VCU in the round of 64, so that is one of my big upsets as well. One of my surprise teams, VCU, in the round of 64. How much further will they go? Go check out my bracket. Join the group. I can't give you $1,000. I can't do anything. What I can do is, if you win that group over there on ESPN and put all your picks in and do that, I can give you a shout out if you want me to. That is, if you beat me. So here we go. BYU will lose to VCU in the round of 64. Ole Miss will lose to North Carolina, who just won tonight in the play-in game. They will lose to them in the round of 64. Michigan. We're on to the 5 seeds now. I think they lose game 1 to UC San Diego. Listen, they've been in my top 25 in the college basketball resume ranking for a long time this season. They have the 16th best resume. So don't let them fool you. They should be a 4 seed, just like Michigan is. Going into this game, Michigan is going to have to not turn the ball over at all, and they have to rely on Area 51. The Twin Towers need to step up. The guards need to make shots off of that. We need cutting. We need everything to go right. We have to get to the line because lately Michigan's a pretty good free throw shooting team. So we got to get to the line and we could win that game. And, we could win any game if we do all that. But I think, Dusty May, we won the Big Ten Tournament Championship. And that's good. That's good enough, I think, for this season for Dusty May. I hate to say it, Michigan loses to UCSD in the round of 64. Oregon, a 5 seed, on the other hand, will beat Liberty. So, there's these 5-12s. Michigan's probably the most vulnerable with the matchup that they have. Oregon beat Liberty, I think, and they will beat Arizona, but they will lose to Duke in the Sweet 16. I think Memphis will beat Colorado State, but I think they will lose to Maryland in the round of 32, and then Clemson, the last 5 seed, I think they will beat McNeese State in round 1. A lot of people are picking that as the other 5-12 upset. I am not. I think they beat Purdue as well to make the Sweet 16, but they will lose to Houston. All right. Maryland will beat Grand Canyon and Memphis, but will lose to Florida in the Sweet 16 as the first 4 seed to do so. Purdue will beat High Point, but will lose to Clemson in the round of 32, as forementioned. Arizona will beat Akron out of the MAC. MAC attack, let's go. Fire up chips. But they will lose to Oregon in the round of 32. And then the last 4 seed, Texas A&M, I think beats Yale and UC San Diego, and then Creighton to enter the Elite Eight. But they will lose to Michigan State. Iowa State is the first 3 seed that we're going to talk about. They will beat Lipscomb, but they will lose to North Carolina in the round of 32. All right. Wisconsin will beat Montana. They will beat VCU. They will beat Alabama, I think, which is might be a big upset for some of you people out there. It will be as far as the resume ranking and on this channel. I like what Wisconsin can do, but I think they lose to Duke in the Elite Eight. I'm counting on Duke being fully healthy going forward. Kentucky will beat Troy, and then Illinois, and then Kentucky is going to beat Tennessee. Listen, their wins have been great. They lost a ton early with the new coaching regime, but now, man, they've won of late. They will lose to Houston, though, in the Elite Eight. And then the final 3 seed. Texas Tech will beat UNC Wilmington, but they will lose in the round of 32 to Drake. I told you how much I like that team. All right, the 2 seeds now. Here we go. Who's going to win it all? Tennessee will beat Wofford and UCLA, but they will lose to Kentucky in the Sweet 16. Alabama will beat Robert Morris and then St. Mary's Christian, but they will lose to Wisconsin in the Sweet 16. MSU will make the Final Four in Izzo's last year? We don't know. I think they beat Bryant. They beat Marquette. They beat North Carolina in a rematch of that national championship from when Michigan State won, right? And then they'll beat Texas A&M too. But they will lose to another formidable and downright mobster coach, Rick Pitino. He is at St. John's. He is in New York City and has resurrected that program. All right. So the last 2 seed is St. John's. And I think Rick Pitino wins everywhere. I think the Johnnies win the whole damn thing. Yes. All right. We're talking 1 seeds now and how they go, but I've watched a lot of games, and that team is as good as one of these 1 seeds. All of these 1 seeds, as good as all these 1 seeds. And they play defense just as good as Houston does. They have size. What they need to do is be able to shoot well, and they have recently. And man, it is a suffocating type of approach that Rick Pitino has, and all of them have bought in. That's my national champion right there. All right. Houston will make the national championship game because I think they're the second best team at just defense wins championships. All right. So, and if you can suffocate the other team, even if you're not shooting well in that night, and win, I've seen these 2 teams do it a lot. So that is my 2 national championship representatives, St. John's and Houston. Houston will beat SIUE, and then they will beat Gonzaga. They will beat Clemson. They'll beat Kentucky, and they'll beat Duke. But they will lose to St. John's in the national championship game. The other 1 seeds, we got Florida, I think, who will beat Norfolk, Connecticut, and Maryland, but will lose to the national champions, St. John's in the Elite Eight. Duke will beat the 16 seed. They'll beat Mississippi State. They'll beat Oregon and Wisconsin. But they will lose to Houston in the Final Four. Auburn will beat Alabama State. But I think they get upset early and loses to Creighton in the round of 32. Yeah. So my surprise teams, North Carolina, I think, is going to make it a ways after the play-in. Creighton, Drake, Oregon, Clemson all make the Sweet 16. Drake losing to St. John's in the Elite Eight is a surprise team. And St. John's winning it all. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. I love them. So there you go. That's my bracket. Go fill out your bracket and we'll see how it goes. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Like the video, please share with other people. Subscribe. All that stuff. Rick Pitino and Tom Izzo and Kelvin Sampson. And who else do I have in the Final Four? Oh, man, I don't have it here. Somebody else is in the Final Four, and they're probably a veteran head coach that knows how to win. So there you go. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night out there. Go Blue. Go beat UCSD, who I think is a 4 seed.